Good morning. Welcome to Live Impact News. I'm Julie Kay here. It is 9:02 on your Friday morning. Happy Friday. We'll be here over the next couple hours bringing you the latest headlines both locally and nationally. But of course, the big thing everyone wants to know ahead of your weekend is your weather. So we got Majestic Storm here. Majestic, I know a little bit of rain. Temperatures have been changing. You can hear it in my voice. I've been affected by it.
My goodness.
I know.
Who are you? Do you have tea or something?
We've got tea. We've got the drops. We've got everything. But this is what we're working with.
Well, the warmer weather, maybe that'll help.
Well, that's the thing too, is the temperature changes always get me, but I will take it because I've been tired of the cold, and so I'm fine with this. But I know we have some rain as well.
We do. We have rain coming in. We've already seen it fall for Mountain County, so Ashwaubenon, Avery counties. We've been watching you all morning long because you have rain showers coming through. We've even seen a couple of storms just outside of our viewing area to the left of it, but some spots even Blowing Rock, Boone, some of our cameras indicating that we have rain, and some of that rain actually came down quite heavily. Those breathe heavy downpours. We had ponding across area roadways. This is what we're looking at right now. Satellite and radar. You can see that line. It was really well defined earlier when it was outside of our viewing area. Right now, it's okay, but it's not all that impressive. It's starting to break apart, and that's good news. I mean, some of these storms that this line created earlier today, just outside of our viewing area, actually turned severe, so it was capable of producing strong to severe thunderstorms. For us, though, this is mainly just going to be rain, and those pockets shaded in yellows and oranges, you can see it there. That's where we do have actually some heavy downpours coming in. So areas right around I-40, that's where we do have still not seeing really storm activity, but heavy downpours, some gusty winds, and that could lead to some ponding out on those roads, hydroplaning if you're not being careful. Now, will this actually reach Charlotte? I mean, I think we could get a little bit of light sprinkles out of it, but it's not going to last long. By mid-morning, early afternoon, we're good to go. And truthfully, the big story today is that it is going to be incredibly warm for our Friday forecast. So looking forward to that. Just want to give you one more bigger perspective of our satellite and radar so you can see exactly what's going on. Yes, some of us have rain. I know some of that is actually coming down quite intensely. We're not concerned about any severe weather for us right now. Did you notice this morning heading out the door that it was actually really warm, abnormally warm? Maybe you didn't need to grab that big heavy jacket. I know I didn't. Usually we're like, okay, send the kids off to school with a heavier jacket, and today 65 degrees was our morning low. That's warmer than where we should be for this time of the year for our overall daytime high. So 65 this morning, a lot of it had to do with those very warm temperatures yesterday, cloud coverage overnight, so we really didn't have a lot of cooling throughout the overnight hours, and that just ultimately set us up for a warm start to our Friday. Live camera look overlooking the beautiful Queen City. We do have a lot of cloud coverage in place. Morning rain, it's not going to be a lot, but we're anticipating just a few sprinkles here and there. Also, cloudy skies. Things gradually start to get better and better as we head towards the afternoon and evening. So by the time you're picking up kids, or maybe by the time you're heading home after work today, I think conditions are going to be really nice, especially if you like warmer weather. Today, we're talking about 80-degree temperatures. Then this weekend, we start to see cooler temperatures and rain showers returning. Unfortunately, Julie, we go from 80 degrees today, and then next week, we have upper 20s heading out the door on Monday.
Okay, so I'm going to sound like this for like 2 whole weeks, guys.
That's going to be a struggle for you.
I'm not going to survive.
I wish I could
one,
have more of something consistent, but it's not looking like that.
Try some more cough drops for me.
Yes, keep those handy. Okay, let's get back to our futurecast. Still talking about our rain, because here's about 9-10 o'clock this morning. So this model specifically is running a little bit ahead of the game. So I would suspect that by about 11-12 o'clock, the rain will be done and over with, and then we'll have nice gradual clearing skies. I do the midday weather show, and so what we're watching by that point, I think truthfully, will be the sunshine starting to come out, those temperatures starting to become quite warm, because again, today, record warmth is what we're talking about. 2 o'clock this afternoon, upper 70s, low 80s, and this time of the year, when we have such warm temperatures, the reasoning behind it is because we have those southwesterly winds. So it is going to be breezy today, but because those winds will be moving in from the northwest, gusting up to around 30 miles an hour at times, that's ushering in the warmer air, and that's why our temperatures are overall very warm. And then Saturday, if you have plans Saturday morning, here 7 o'clock in the morning, I think we're going to start out the day with cloudy conditions, still mild temperatures into the 50s. Could have a few scattered showers for the first half of our day. I'm not seeing anything too concerning again. And then things clear out as we head towards Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. There's 5 o'clock. By this point, temperatures will be into the 60s, so not quite as warm, but overall a pretty nice day. Sunday morning, kind of the same pattern again. Early in the morning, cloudy, mild, cooler, few sprinkles moving in, and then everything ushers out. Then back behind it, the big story will be the cooler temperatures next week. Currently, though, we are at 70 degrees here in Charlotte. It's only 9:07 right now in the morning. I mean, I know you guys are looking forward to that. It is warm. Did you think it was muggy at all, or did it feel like a little bit of a breeze? Like you felt it was perfect in Carlene's world.
Anything.
Like, this is a great day. This is a great day. It's going to be just warm overall. 70s heading out the door. So if you're somebody who likes to head out for a morning walk, or you like to get some fresh air, no need for layers. And notice as we progress into the afternoon, I think by 1, 2, 3 o'clock, that sunshine is going to be coming out and those temperatures are warming up. But again, still watching for those scattered rain potentials this morning. Yesterday we topped off at 78 degrees. Did you like that? Okay, so getting even better today. 80s, and our daily high record for today was set back in 2014, and we should break that easily. High temperatures in the mountains, 50s and 60s, so even pretty nice up there. For the foothills, 77 for Morganton and Hickory, 78 there in Maiden. Around the Charlotte area, 80-degree temperatures for a February day, so soak it up if that's what you love. Even warmer, though, just to the south of us, 82 in Chesterfield, 81 in Rockingham. Overnight lows tonight will get a little bit cooler than where we were this morning, but overall, 56 degrees overnight is not cold. It's going to be comfortable if you have plans for your Friday night. You don't need to carry along a big, heavy jacket with you. Tomorrow morning is going to be fine. Then our overall daytime highs tomorrow back into the mid to upper 60s, and then our temperatures over the next 10 days. The overall trend is that today is the top of the top, and then we slowly start to get cooler. So 80 today, Monday's high 42 degrees, 47 on Tuesday, and then we kind of start seeing those temperatures rise right back to where we should be. As far as rain goes, remember it's kind of just a morning time, Friday morning event that we're watching for those scattered showers. Could we have an isolated thunderstorm? We could, but it's not going to be any severe weather or anything like that. I mean, it is warm out there. We have the elements in place for an isolated storm to develop. And again, the best part of that, if we did get it, would be it could possibly bring a brief heavy downpour. And we've been talking about all week long how bad the drought is. So we would love that, actually. And then a nice sunny, warm afternoon. Sign us up. Now, Saturday and Sunday, small rain chances, only a 20% chance. It's not perfectly dry, but it's not very impactful either. Here's a Jerry Hunt Super Center 7-day forecast. Still a lot of things going on today. 58 degrees is where we should be for a normal February the 20th. Today, 80 degrees is what we're forecasting. Yesterday was nice. Today we're getting even warmer. Lows tonight, again, very mild. Saturday and Sunday, if you have plans, I think it's going to be just a fine weekend. Temperatures not cold, not bad at all. Small chances of rain, mainly in the morning time hours, and then they taper off as a later half as we progress later on in the day. 28 degrees, though, heading out on Monday morning. That's going to be a little chilly. 42 for our high. And then Tuesday morning, even colder. Look at that, 26 degrees. So kind of a shock to the system, I would say. A lot going on, but I think a lot of people are just happy to have warmer conditions.
So Majestic, we've talked about this a couple times because you actually worked with my boyfriend in a previous market.
Yes.
Shout
out Jacob.
Shout out Jacob. Murph. Every time he comes to town, the weather gets worse. It is uncanny. It is now, this is like the fourth time in a row where it's either rained or it's snowed. Or we're blaming Jacob for, because he's missing the 80 degrees tonight. Because he's going to be here on Monday.
Oh, are you serious? Oh, I thought
gosh.
he was coming today.
And then it warms up when he leaves. It is shocking.
What in the world?
He lives in Milwaukee, and so I'm like, are you just ushering it in?
Maybe. Tell him to chill.
I know.
Chill it, Jacob.
Please. Goodness. But I'll take it today.
Yeah, it's going to be so nice.
Well, Majestic, thank you very much. I know we'll check in later. People are very excited for the warm temperatures.
Yes.
I know Carlene is. And that's Carlene without a mic, guys. She is just that energetic about it.
What are you doing with this 80-degree day? Do you have plans, or are you just internally happy?
Sorry, I'm not on the mic because I'm training right now, so
Okay. I need to know, like, do you have plans, or are you just, your soul is happy?
I'm going to the Whitewater Center after work.
Oh, I love that.
Take Turkey around the
Very
trails.
fun.
Yeah,
Perfect.
might as well soak up the sun. 'Cause
Turkey
tomorrow's gonna be
deserves
rainy.
this.
And he's
Yes.
like, he's 3 inches tall, so tomorrow is going to be a washout for him. So you got to soak it up today.
That's a flood for Turkey.
flood.
I mean,
Just a few sprinkles will ruin his day. Also, I have to say, at the Whitewater Center, probably we'll talk about it once it gets closer to the St. Patrick's Day, but they turned the whole river green. I'm like,
so
that is so
excited.
fun. I've got to go to that.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Well, because I've done that in Chicago before, but I'm
Yeah.
too short to see it. There's too many people,
Oh.
and I didn't even see the Green River.
You
So
need
I'm
like a hotel room
I know.
in Chicago when you go, and then you have like a
you
cool
and Turkey
view.
problems. Y'all are just...
I know, we're too close to the ground.
Too close to the ground.
They have to. My feet are dangling right now. This chair's too high for me.
That's funny.
Well, enjoy the warm weather, Turkey. I'm looking forward to seeing pictures of him at the
course.
Whitewater Center. We'll come back with pictures and taking a quick break, but we'll be right back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Live Impact News just past 9:15 on your Friday morning. Want to get to some more of your headlines. If you were with us last night, we brought you that shooting in Northeast Charlotte. We now have an update from CMPD. Here's this.
Major last name Tellis, Tellis. Shortly after 4:30 p.m. this afternoon at the 7400 block of the plaza, officers responded to an assault with a deadly weapon, shooting into an occupied vehicle and called for service. Upon their arrival, they found a victim who sustained gunshot wounds, and shortly thereafter was pronounced on scene, pronounced deceased.
How did this unfold in terms of the relationship between the two people?
So, from what information that we've gathered, it started off as a altercation, a vehicle altercation, road rage altercation, which turned into verbal, and then gunshots or shots fired. And once the shots were actually fired, both parties took off, and the victim vehicle sped into a apartment complex or a building across the street.
That one right over there.
Yes, yeah. Where they came to rest.
And the other shooting, was that outside of Food Lion? Like in this parking lot behind you?
From all information, the incident occurred in the parking lot.
Was it busy, or are you talking to a lot of witnesses? Are they telling you anything, or?
So at this particular time, it's rush hour traffic. Everyone's going to from school, going to work, or coming from work rather. So it's a lot of traffic around. Several people witnessed this situation because of the time of day that it was, and fortunate with that, we've gotten information from several who did see it.
And do you have someone in custody?
At this point, all parties are accounted for. This is an isolated incident. There's no harm to anyone else in the public, and we are speaking with everyone.
Thank you, Major. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, that was CMPD discussing last night's homicide in Northeast Charlotte. A really terrible situation there, but again, everyone, they said, is accounted for and no threat to the public going forward. So we'll be following up with that if we get any more information today. Something else we've been following for a while is the trial of Colin Gray. I want to walk you through what we know so far before we get to this. The father of the accused Appalachia High School shooter, Colt Gray. The central question here, did the dad have sufficient warning his son might harm others before allegedly committing this terrible crime? Of course, the gun that his father gifted to him is really central in this narrative, and this could really change the way that prosecutions are going forward if he is found guilty. So I want to take you live to the courtroom now. This is in Barrow County, Georgia. Our partners at XIA have been covering this for us.
To 116. Yeah, there's no 146, Judge.
There's a 116.
Mr. Gray, what's the last one on your list? Is that
146, 107, and 146.
And we only go through, was it 114? 116.
Is there a 146 exhibit? Period? I assume there is.
There is, I think it's physical evidence, but I'll confirm that. That is physical evidence.
I think 146 is the third photo of what was on the wall. And I assume this big poster board, I haven't seen it yet, but I assume that's the same thing. I think it's duplicitous to have multiple photographs of the same thing.
And Judge, it's...
Certainly the photograph shows where it is in the house to some degree.
Correct, and the jury needs to be able to see as we zoom in. So I think that's what he's saying, it's duplicitous. Obviously in that picture, once you put that picture on a screen, it is hard to see what's in those lower photographs, so we've provided one additional photograph there to aid the jury to be able to see that.
All right.
And I'd like to take a look at the poster board before they put that up, just to be sure it's the same size. Don't know whether they blend these pictures up to put it on that board or not.
Your Honor, that was over 2 weeks ago, the defense counsel came in and looked at that board.
I don't think I was here.
I saw you were not here, you were in Charlotte.
I was not here, Judge, so I haven't.
Okay. Is the state saying this is the
Yes,
poster
sir.
board that's going to be tendered the actual poster board that was removed?
No, Your Honor, there wasn't a poster board.
Okay,
Those-
put
those
on a
are
poster board?
by us, but that is the actual pictures that were
From
taken
the
off
wall
the
that are
wall.
on it.
Okay.
They're not copies, they're not reproductions, they are the actual pictures.
And Judge, we also do need to be able to show that us reassembling that on the poster board is accurate in relation to the photos.
Well, they don't have to show the, they've got 4 pictures of the same thing, plus they got a poster board. That, to me, is about as duplicitous as you can get.
So in general, just kind of taking these as a whole, some of the photographs are highly probative, some of the photographs are a fair bit less probative. But in order to keep them out, I've got to find that the probative value is substantially outweighed by unfair prejudice or being needlessly cumulative. I'm not able to find that it's substantially outweighed as to the exhibits that we just reviewed. And that's the standard for keeping it out. So the objection's noted for the record, but overruled.
Thank you.
Brooks, if they're ready, if you'll bring the jury in.
All right, back in the studio here. It is 9:23. You've been watching the trial of Colin Gray as they maneuver around the courtroom. We're going to take a quick break, but know that we're going to come back to this throughout the day. A lot of trial ahead of us as we enter day 4. Welcome back to Live Impact News. Julie Kay here. It is 9:26, and we actually have a really special guest here in studio today, Christopher Knight, a.k.a. The Peter Brady. Welcome to Charlotte. Welcome to Live Impact News.
The Peter Brady.
The
I
Peter
like
Brady.
That. I don't know if I've ever recognized myself that way. Okay, yeah.
Well, tell me why you're here in Charlotte this weekend.
I am here for the Charlotte Home and Renovation Show, where I'm going to get up on stage and, entertain and answer all those burning Brady questions.
What have some of those been so far? I know you've done a ton of interviews this morning. What are some of the questions you feel like people want to know?
Well, I guess the number one question is, are you all really friends? You know, and the truth is we are, but there's something interesting in that question. So sort of, I represent everyone, all right? I'm them.
Yeah.
I'm a version of, or a member of the family that they haven't seen in a while, right? But there's a part of this relationship that they want to feel good about, you know, and it's interesting that people want to know that you are friends, truly, that you just didn't or aren't portraying it, but are friends, and that's positive. I mean, there's some hope that we want to get along.
Behind the scenes magic too that people, I'm sure, really want to know about. But I'm also so curious too. You've transitioned from, you know, that fame to all this remodeling and this furniture. Like, you've really gotten your hands in so many different pots right now. How was that transition for you?
Well, luckily, I have ADD, so there's always something in front of me that's interesting me. So yeah, I was in high tech for 25 years, and 12 years ago got involved in the furniture trade with Christopher Knight Home, and that's proved to be an exceptional success. Surprisingly so. I didn't expect it to be what it's become. Which is really was an effort to sell furniture online, because it is an online only proposition, which means that our lineup, which is quite large, I mean 10,000 SKUs or so, is mostly aligned so it can get to your door within 2 days, which means it has to be within the weights and measures of FedEx or UPS, which is a whole different style of furniture, because most big indoor couches and tables aren't gonna fit into that. So we're not gonna make our business, make that part of our business, at least a major part of our business. It's about getting you the furniture that exists as accent chairs and other pieces in your home. And you know, home is something that the Brady's is kind of represents for everyone, whether it be because of the house or because we functioned as a family working together. I mean, really having each other's back. And there's not many places you can go to witness that.
Yeah.
You know, not that you're going to school, but the fact is there's a benefit to watching a family work together.
There really does seem to be, I know there's such different things that you're doing, but that kind of thread between them of you've, you know, been a part of people's homes in different capacities for so many years.
You're right. And I've been part of someone's family because we represented that wholesome goodness, that thing that we all want in our home. None of us really wish to burn down our homes. The home that we want, whether it be real or imagined, is one that functions well, and that is the Brady home. So home is where the love starts, you know, and so it really is where your heart is. And these home and remodeling shows are about putting that love into a home, so that you can get the love back out of it.
Is that where your inspiration for this line started, or where did you find this passion for?
Well, actually, it was a friend's idea that and it was a brand that he needed. The online space is, well, they call it Amazon for a reason. It's just a jungle. It's, to coalesce, and furniture is really a non-branded space. Sure. To coalesce around something that was trusted, and I guess I recognize that there's something about Brady that people trust, and that was what was needed if you were going to sell furniture online. That trust really has a value, and it proved to me through our success how valuable that really is, and how important that trust is that I have gained in people's minds because I'm a Brady, and that it comes with a responsibility not to break that trust.
Well, I know you have a busy day ahead of you. Anything else people need to know before you get going?
Absolutely nothing they need to know. Absolutely, just to have a smile on their face.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us and taking the time. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take another quick break, but we'll be back here in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Live Impact News. We are heading straight back out to day 4 of the trial of Colin Gray. This is live outside of Atlanta.
Of the carport. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You should pause for just a second. Council, you on the
What are we looking at here? This is an overall photo of the doorway that connected to the laundry room / bedroom. Okay, and where is that in relation to the garage? So that wall where the doorway to go to the carport was, this is that same wall. So this would be the north wall in the kitchen. Okay, and is that accurately reflected on the diagram? Yes, ma'am. All right, so let's go to the next one. This is point 15. This is one of my overall photos of that laundry room from the perspective of me standing in the doorway. Okay, and point 16. Another overall, at this point I've moved farther into the room and I'm facing back towards the doorway. Okay. And again, I kind of hit on this, but when you go through and photograph a house, do you first photograph it in the exact condition that you find it in before y'all manipulate things or go through anything? Yes, we do. Okay. So we'll go to point 17. This is a close-up of a plastic tote that was in that laundry room, and you can see some ammunition boxes in the tote. Okay. And point 18. This is just a closer-up photo of that ammunition box. All right, go to the next one. 19. This is a tactical style vest that was located in the laundry room. All right. And the next one. This is 20. This is an overall of an ammunition can that was also located in the laundry room. Okay. We'll go to 21. This is an overall of the contents of the box once I open the lid. All right, so this is that same box we saw in the previous picture, that green one? Yes, ma'am. Okay. And we'll go to 22. This is a close-up photo of some cartridges and cartridge cases that were loose in the bottom of the box. Okay, and did you have to do anything to unlock that box, or was it secured in any way that you weren't able to get into it initially? No, ma'am. It has a handle to keep it secure, but there's no actual physical lock on the box. Okay. We'll go to the next one. That was 22. This is 23. This is another photograph of some ammunition that was located in the laundry room, just within a plastic tote in that room. Okay. And the next one is point 24. A close-up photograph of that same ammunition. Okay. We'll go to the next slide. This is a close-up of the ammunition can that we showed a few photos ago. Okay, that's point 25. So is that after y'all took that into evidence? Yes, ma'am. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide. Point 26. Again, this is the contents inside the box once I opened the lid. Okay, we'll go to point 27. These are all the boxes of ammunition that I removed from the box and laid out to photograph. All right, so all of these were contained within that green box? Yes, ma'am. Okay. And point 28. And this is after I removed the contents of those boxes, just showing how many cartridges were in each box. Okay. And the next slide. This is just a close-up of those cartridges showing their caliber. Right, that was point 29. And we'll go to the next one, 30. A close-up of one of the other boxes of ammunition. Okay. And the next one is point 31. And the contents inside that box. Okay. And the next one is point 32. Close-up of a different box of ammunition. All right. And the next one, 33. And again, the contents that were inside that box. And we'll go to the next slide. A different ammunition box. Okay, and that's 34. And the contents of that box. And that is point 35. We'll go to the next slide.
This is an overall of what remained in the can after I removed the boxes from it.
Okay, and that's 0.36. So these are not ones that you previously photographed. Those are additional at the bottom
Correct.
of the
These
box.
were just loose in the bottom of the box.
Okay. And we'll go to the next slide, 0.37.
This is an overall of which cartridges were loose in the box. As you can see, I laid them out and I wrote beside each one the make, the caliber, and how many there were.
Okay, and can you just kind of read out what, basically what you've got written there?
Yes, ma'am. So I have 2 PMC 308 Winchester cartridges. I have 12 FC 45 auto handgun cartridges, 1 FC 40 caliber Smith & Wesson cartridge, 1 Spear 40 Smith & Wesson cartridge, and 1 Winchester 40 Smith & Wesson cartridge.
Okay, thank you. And we'll go to the next slide.
This is an overall of one of the evidence bags showing the barcode.
Okay, and what is that your writing on there?
No, it is not.
Okay. Is your handwriting better than that?
I hope so.
What is this? What's labeled on the bag?
It says loose ammo from laundry room.
And is that accurate as to where it was collected from?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's 0.38. And we'll go to the next one, 0.39.
And this was the contents that were inside that bag.
Okay. We'll go to the next one. That's 0.40.
This is a head stamp of either a cartridge or a cartridge case. It's hard to tell in that photo.
Okay. And we'll go to the next slide. 0.41.
And overall of a difference evidence bag.
Okay, and what's the writing on that say?
It says ammo, secondary search, laundry room.
Okay, and when we say secondary search, what's that in reference to?
So generally a secondary search is what we do after we've done our initial search and marked any items of evidence that were readily visible. Once we photographed, documented, and collected those, we will then do a secondary search in which we will move things that we may not have previously moved. And it's more of just a secondary sweep to make sure we didn't miss anything.
Okay, and that's 41, and we'll go to the next slide.
And these are the cartridges that were in that bag.
Okay, and that's 42. Go to the next slide.
And overall of a Remington ammunition box.
That's 43. And the next slide.
And the contents that were in that box.
Okay, that's 44. And we'll go, before we go on through the house, I'm going to show you what we marked as Space Exhibit 146. And can you identify what this is for the jury? And is this heavier than it looks as I walk this up here?
Yes, it is. Okay. This is the ammunition box that was collected from the laundry room.
Okay. And does it appear to be in substantially the same condition as when you collected it from the laundry room?
Yes, ma'am.
After y'all photographed the contents of that box, did you put the contents back in the box and seal it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And since I'll go ahead and tender State's Exhibit 146 into evidence.
No objection. Does it have the bullets in it? Is that what this is?
Yes, sir. Everything that was contained in it at the house is back in it now.
All right, 146 is admitted.
And I will not have you open that up since you photographed so thoroughly the contents of it. But I do have one more from that room. This is State's Exhibit 147. This is the best. And can you identify what this is for the jury?
This is the tactical vest that's been packaged, that was located in the laundry room.
Okay. And is that bag and sealed everything in substantially the same condition as when y'all placed it into evidence?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and I'm going to have you open that up and show that to the jury. And Judge, we tender State's Exhibit 147.
Mr. Barry? All right, 147 is admitted.
Right. Yeah, if you want to stand up and hold that up, I don't think you need to step down. But, Thank you.
back in the back.
And yeah, sure. Whatever's easiest. Need to get it out of your way. Let me know. All right, and we'll go back to a few pictures before I bring you something else.
Okay.
This is going to be State's Exhibit 145.45. Can you tell us what we're looking at here?
Just an overall photograph showing the doorway to the carport and the doorway to the living room.
Okay. And so we're now going to go into that living room. And on the next slide, should be 46. Tell us about this.
This is one of my overalls of the living room, just showing where the furniture was and the overall appearance of the room.
Okay, so is this kind of from the direction of that doorway?
Generally, yes, slightly to the left.
Okay. And we'll go to the next one, 47.
This is more of a straight ahead view of me standing in the doorway, but this is again, more furniture, and you can see the front door and the window in the living room.
Okay, so just to be clear, that door on the left side of this picture, that's the front door to the home?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you said that it appeared the garage door was the one people used to enter and exit, is kind of the stuff in front of that door the reason why you concluded that?
Yes, ma'am. It would, based on where the furniture is, the items hanging from the door, and the items in front of the door, it seemed that it was not feasible that someone was regularly going in and out of that door.
Okay. And now we'll go to point 48.
Another overall from inside the living room. This is, if you're standing in the doorway, this is the wall to the right of the doorway.
Okay. And we'll go to 49.
Another overall from the living room. You can see the doorway that leads back to the kitchen, and you can also partially see where the hallway starts.
All right, is that going to be the hallway that has all the bedrooms off of it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And we'll go to the next slide, point 50.
Another overall of the living room, again, just showing the furniture and the contents.
Okay. And so now we're going to show a little bit of that hallway. And we'll go to point 51.
This is an overall showing just the general layout of the hallway.
Okay, and can you kind of tell us which rooms we see? I know it's kind of hard to see in this picture. But.
Yes, ma'am. So in this perspective, I'm standing in the living room facing the hallway. At the very end, you can see a door. That is just a closet. If you're moving down the hallway on your right side, the first room is the just general, almost gamer setup type room. Mm-hmm. The room at the end of the hallway on the right is a bedroom. And on the left wall, the first room on the left is a bathroom, and the second room on the left at the end of the hall is another bedroom.
Okay. Is that a pretty narrow hallway?
It is.
Okay. And you said that door on the end with the damage to it, that's a closet?
Yes, it's a closet.
Okay. And we'll go to point 52.
This is another overall of the hallway. I've moved a little bit further down so you can see the rooms a little bit better.
Okay, so what's this first door on our left?
The first door on our left is a bathroom.
Okay, and the door directly across from it?
That was identified as Colt's room.
Okay. And that was point 52. So now we're going to look at that first bathroom that was on the left. And we'll pull up point 53.
This is one of my overalls, just showing the condition of the bathroom.
Okay, and how many bathrooms total were there in the house?
2.
Okay. We'll go to point 54.
This is a perspective of me standing in the bathroom doorway. I'm taking a photograph of the doorway directly across from the bathroom.
Okay. And you said that's what was identified as Colt's room?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the next slide is point 55.
This is an overall near the end of the hallway. You can see that same closet door, and on the right and left are doorways to the bedrooms.
Okay. And we'll go to the next slide. So next we're going to talk about, was that last room next to the bathroom, was that identified as Jenny Gray's room, the daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's show the next slide. This is point 56.
This is just an overall of the doorway leading into Jenny's room.
All right, and it's kind of hard to see in this picture. Is that damage to the door next to the doorknob?
There is some damage to the door, yes.
Okay. And we'll go in point 57.
This is one of my overalls of Jenny's room. Oh, you're fine.
And smoothly going into point 58.
Just another overall as I'm making my way around the room.
Okay. And the next slide, point 59.
Another overall of Jenny's room, and you can see the doorway there that leads to her connected bathroom.
Okay. And we'll go into that bathroom. As the only point of entrance for that bathroom in Jenny's room.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it did appear that that was a bathroom exclusively used by Jenny based on what you could tell.
Based on the contents, yes.
Okay. So we'll show point 60.
These are just some of the contents that were in that bathroom.
Okay. And so we're next going to go to this back corner bedroom. Did that appear to be Colin Gray's bedroom?
Yes, ma'am.
And did he appear to also share that with his youngest son, Coley?
It appeared that way, yes.
Okay. And we'll go to the next slide, point 61.
This is one of my overalls of the doorway of Colin's room.
Okay. And point 62.
Another overall of the inside of the room.
Okay. Go to point 63.
Another overall, just moved the camera down to try to capture the whole room.
Gotcha. We'll go to the next slide, point 64.
Another overall of that same bedroom as I'm making my way around the room.
All right. And the next slide is point 65.
This is an overall of a pair of swim goggles that I located in that bedroom, and inside the goggles you can see what was identified as one bore sight and one rifle cartridge.
Okay, and is that, fortunately we had that orienting picture. Is this zoomed in from where the previous picture was?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And we'll go to the next picture.
This is that same pair of goggles. It's just now been identified with evidence marker 22.
Okay, and you said that was a bore sight and a cartridge in there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Just a close-up of the contents of the goggles.
All right, and that's point 67. And is that object on the left the bore sight?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Point 68.
This is an overall of the closet that was in Colin's room.
Okay. And point 69.
Another overall focusing more on the top of the closet.
Okay. And point 70.
One of my overalls photographing the top shelf that was in the closet.
All right, and it's kind of hard to see in this picture, and we'll see clearer, but what are those boxes that we're seeing?
Various ammunition boxes.
Okay. We'll go to the next picture. That's point 71.
That's another overall. That's the opposite side of that same shelf in the top of the closet.
Okay. And the next slide.
These were overalls of some firearms that were located in that closet after I removed the clothing that was covering them.
Okay. Were there 2 firearms up there?
Yes, there were.
Okay. And we'll go to the next picture. That was point 72. This is point 73.
This is a overall photograph of a box of handgun ammunition that was in the top of the closet.
All right. And we'll go to the next slide, point 74.
This is another overall of one of the firearms that's been marked with evidence marker 17.
Okay. And point 75.
This was a pile of magazines that were located in the top of the closet that have been marked with evidence marker 19.
All right. And point 76.
This is an overall of the closet, still with all the clothing on top of the contents of the closet.
Okay. So is this kind of on the left side of the closet?
Yes, ma'am. If you're facing the closet, it would be more to the left.
Okay. Point 76, and we'll go to the next one, point 77.
This is the same boxes of ammunition that have been marked with evidence marker 16, and this photo of the clothing has been moved from on top of them.
Okay. And next, point 78.
This is a close-up photo of all the boxes of ammunition that I retrieved from the top of the closet.
Okay, and I'll go ahead and ask, was that closet locked or secured in any way that y'all weren't able to get into it?
No, ma'am. The closet door was open when I got there.
Okay. So that's point 78. We'll go to point 79. What do we see here?
A close-up photo of the .40 caliber Smith & Wesson ammunition box.
Okay. And point 80.
This was the contents inside that box.
Okay. And point 81.
An overall of another ammunition box and the contents that were inside that box.
Okay. And point 82.
An overall of a different ammunition box.
Okay, and we'll go to the next one, point 83.
These were the contents inside that box.
Okay, and are all these that we're looking at recovered from that top closet shelf next to those firearms?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll go to the next one, point 84.
An overall of a 12-gauge shotgun ammunition box.
Okay. We'll go to point 85.
the contents recovered from that box.
All right, and is that your writing next to it identifying what it is?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and can you just read that for us if you could see it? I know it's not super clear.
Apologies if I pronounced the name wrong, but 16 cellular and billet 12 gauge shotgun shells.
Okay. And this is .86.
This is an overall of a different ammunition box and the contents of that box.
And that's .87. And how many is that?
19 12 gauge shotgun shells.
Okay. And we'll go to .88.
And overall of a different ammunition box.
And .89.
The contents that were in that box.
Okay. Go to .90. So we're back in the room. Can you tell us kind of where we are in the room at this point?
Yes, ma'am. So you can partially see it in that photo. The doorway to go in and out of the room is in the left corner of that photo. This would be the east wall in that room, and it's just a cubby-style dresser against the wall.
Okay. And that was .90. So let's go to .91. And what are we looking at here?
This is a mid-range photo of the middle cubby on the top row of that dresser.
Okay, that's .91.
And this is a Glock box or case that was recovered from that cubby.
Okay, that's .92. We'll go to .93.
This is an overall of the contents that were inside that case.
All right. And can you tell us just generally, at least what we can see about what these contents are?
So you can see there are 2 handgun magazines. There's a black and color, what's called a speed loaders to help you load your magazines. And there's also a gun lock in a Ziploc bag.
Okay. And was the Ziploc bag, did that appear to be the original packaging for the gun lock from what you could tell?
From what I could tell, yes.
Okay. And that's .93. So we'll go to the next one now. And before we go to the next one, I'll introduce a couple physical things. I do want to ask you, those firearms at the top of the closet, what were those 2 firearms?
One of them was a shotgun and the other was a rifle.
Okay. Was it like an AR style rifle?
Yes, ma'am. I believe it was an AM-15 was the official brand of it.
Okay. And I'm going to show you what's been marked as State Exhibit 148. Can you just identify what that is?
Yes, ma'am. This is the Glock case that was recovered from that cubby in Colin's room.
All right. And does it appear to be in the same condition as when y'all took it into evidence?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Judge, at this time, we would tender State's Exhibit 148.
Okay, 148.
Okay, I'm going to have you go ahead and if you can just sort of show the inside of it to the jury, then I'm going to ask you about a couple of the individual contents. So if you could pull out the gun lock in there and hold that up, is that a pretty basic gun lock?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what's that paper that's inside with it? Have you reviewed that?
I have, yes, ma'am. So this paper is provided by Glock. It's essentially just a safety form. It provides instructions on how to properly secure the gun lock. It also provides warnings on how to do so safely. And there are also photos depicting what the gun lock should look like when it's properly installed on various types of weapons.
Okay. And does it include like safety tips and that kind of thing as well to sort of explain that to the owner?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what's the envelope that is also inside that lock case?
All right. So this envelope contains just Glock's safety pamphlet provided by Glock, as well as a just general user manual for a Glock handgun.
Has that envelope been opened?
No, ma'am, it doesn't appear so.
Okay. I'll give you a second to consolidate that. All right, so we'll go back to the pictures. So we're talking about what you previously identified as Colt's room now. So this is that room that's directly across from the bathroom?
Correct.
Okay. And this is states 145.94. Tell us what we're looking at here and from where.
This is one of my overalls of Colt's room. In this perspective, I'm standing in the doorway and I'm facing only the west wall.
Okay. And we will go to, is that a computer screen right there that we see?
Yes, ma'am. There's a desk with a computer monitor, some video game equipment, and just some other assorted items on the desk.
Okay, and so we see that a little clearer in states 145.95.
Yes, ma'am. Just another overall showing the desk and the chair and some contents that were in the floor.
All right, and is that still kind of from the doorway?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is a pretty small room.
Yes, ma'am. It's not very big.
Okay. So this is 145.96. Tell us what we see here.
This is an overall photograph of the west wall. You can partially see the desk, and you can also see some things affixed to the wall.
Okay, and you say some things affixed to the wall, so we see what's right in front of us. We'll obviously be coming back to that. Was there really anything on the walls other than what we see in this picture, that skull and these items on the back wall?
There was one shelf mounted to the east wall, which is the wall where the doorway was located, but the only thing on the shelf was an empty shoebox, some loose papers, some push pins, nothing of relevance.
Okay. So we'll go to 145.97.
Another overall, just making my way around the room. This would be partially the south wall and part of the west wall.
Okay, and is that...
All right, you've been listening in to day 4 of the trial down in Georgia of Colin Gray. This is going to be going on all day. Again, multiple days of trial still ahead of us. So we'll be checking back in throughout our newscast here. But for now, taking a quick break. Stick with us. Welcome back to Live Impact News. Julie Kay here. It is 10:02 on your Friday morning. Happy Friday to Chris Mulcahy.
Hello. Good
How you
morning,
doing?
everybody. So we have active rain and storms pushing through right now.
Maybe less happy Friday.
But here's the happiness. Then we're going to see sunshine this afternoon with a high of 80 degrees.
That's what we want to see.
Okay. All right. But let's get the crud out of here. See, look at that. Round of applause for Joyce, everybody. All right. So here it is. We have some raindrops on the lens. Right now we are on top of our tower. That's why you're seeing mainly mechanics compared to actually any horizon right here. But you can see those active visible drops that are on the lens. Here is the active rain. I'm not seeing any active thunder and lightning with this, but we're at the threshold that we will start to see maybe a slight little transition over to just that. So as you can see, some heavier rain right around Huntersville pushing through. So that means some of our friends Friends over in Concord, Poplar Tent, Kannapolis. You're really going to see that rain start to pick up intensity-wise over the coming 15 to 20 minutes. Meanwhile, heavier rain over here in Mount Holly, so that's pushing into Paw Creek as well. A little bit of a lull here just south of the Gastonia area, but then it's heavier again, pushing into Clover, so that means areas like Lake Wiley, Tega Cay, Fort Mill, you're really going to see that rain pick up in the next 20 minutes or so. So check it out. Some of our timing, Rock Hill. I would really say that you're going to start to see the rain really on your doorstep in here. I can kind of adjust this, so let's move this out ever so slightly because there is some bands here and there. It's Monroe, I would say in the next 20 minutes or so, you're going to start to see a transition there. Charlotte, it's actively right now for the next 15 to 20 that you're going to see substantial upgrade as far as that rain is concerned. And I think the heaviest period of rain that we're dealing with is this hour. So from 10 to 11, that's where it's going to be most active across the 485 loop. And then things will start to transition for a sunnier horizon. This is one of 3 rounds of rain, by the way. So right now we're dealing with temperatures either side of 70 degrees. Tomorrow morning we have an isolated rain shower. And then on Sunday, more scattered rain, more the variety of the same. So here's where we're at right now. We are 71 degrees precisely, dealing with those clouds, and then sunshine, trying to come through the clouds, just like what we had yesterday. Yesterday it was a crummy day. Then all of a sudden you start to see a brighter illumination coming from the sky, and that is going to be what we need. So if we're already at 71 and we get sunshine clearing things out, even though the transport out of the southwest, which is going to be some of the warmer air, that is still going to be enough strength to get us to right around that 80 degree point. So I am calling for 80 degrees officially. I will confidently say we have been going warmer here at WCNC compared to the rest of the market. I usually kind of peek over to see whatever people are doing, and we're the first ones to really call 80 degrees. So let's see how this comes to fruition. But we've been calling for a record high pretty much since Monday. 77 degrees, that's going to be smashed. So it was set back in 2014. Normal high, 58, so we're about 22 degrees above that mark. So that's going to be absolutely incredible. But then meanwhile, we also had a really warm start to the day. So 80 degrees, that's going to be a smash. No problems there. But check out as far as our low temperatures are concerned, where we stack up with everything. So 65 degrees is what we dropped down to this morning. The previous record warm low. So there's record highs, record lows, and there's also warm lows and cold highs. And not to complicate things too much, but just note that usually do not start this warm. The warmest we've ever started, February 20th, is 59 degrees. We are easily going to remain at least in the lower 60s, where I think our low temperature for the day is hit right around 11. So that's going to be kind of record-breaking on its own. Now, for the weekend, we are going to see a substantial change day by day as those temperatures are going to be dropping. So check out our 3-day forecast. You're not going to like what happens on Monday, so I really want to focus in on the 80 today. Tomorrow, you're at 65, 52 on Sunday, and then on Monday, 42 degrees. So that's going to be pretty substantial. And yeah, see, that is boo worthy.
Thank you.
And this is the main thing, Julie, is that I love these spikes to 70s and the 80s, but they're mean because we're not ready to be this warm. So that means usually there's a price to pay.
I know. We get punished afterwards.
I know.
For our nice weekend.
I know. I feel like that's like at work. If you're gone for like over a week, all of a sudden you come back to the busiest week of your life. You're like, no, I'm not ready for this. But I wanted to show you exactly the transition of rain that we're going to see. By noon, I think it's all past and gone. Now going to our next potential for rain, we're seeing it mainly on Saturday morning. So check this out. So Saturday morning, you see the clouds increase. A lot of people have been asking, well, I have some morning plans on Saturday. Well, my friends, most of the activity is going to be down towards the south, but it's right around when the sun's rising up that we could see a passing shower, and then it's by the later part of the morning that I think we have a light rain shower to maybe a sprinkle or two. Then we clear out for a little bit of afternoon sunshine, then we have the last hurrah. This is one thing that has changed. This widespread rain is a little bit heftier for your Sunday morning, so I think it could be heavy at times. Most of it arrives through the early morning hours. We could transition to snow in the mountains, and then the backside of this, we will see some clearing, but we're truly, I think, cooling down through much of the afternoon, and that rain is mainly a morning event again. So that's not going to lead to the most picture-perfect setup behind there. But what I think is really interesting is where our thunderstorm activity is going to be tomorrow, because we were under a designated risk for a potential storm to roll through. Now I think that's mainly going to be off towards the south. So check this out. Down in South Carolina and Georgia, watch what happens. We have a mean line of storms that develops right in here. So if you're doing any traveling south of Macon, this is 11 a.m. So at that point, this isn't just thunderstorm activity. This would be severe storms. So especially mid to late afternoon, say if you're driving down I-95, it could be pretty tumultuous here in the southern tip of South Carolina, right around Savannah, to close out the afternoon. So we're kind of getting into that classic severe weather setup. And the whole reason why we're seeing rain on Sunday is because a developing low pressure system could bring some snow to our friends up in New England and up in the Northeast. Not here, not here. The only snow we see is going to be right up in the mountains. But here it is. Plain and simple, as we mentioned, it's a mean trick because 28 degrees on Monday, 26 degrees on Tuesday. We started at 65 today. So it's going to be a tough transition. Luckily, it's kind of a slow stair step down, but then eventually we have a nice little pop back into the 60s with another round of rain potentially heading into Thursday. So this is a facade. We shouldn't usually be here for this time of year. I'm going to leave you with one more stat. As I mentioned, we don't typically do this. This is going to be a record-breaking day. But officially dating back to 1879 here in Charlotte, there's only been 18 times that we've hit 80-plus degrees during the month of February in Charlotte history. We've done it 13 times at 80, 2 times 81, 3 times 82, and 2 of those 18 times actually happened last February.
Ooh. I don't know what to wear anymore, Chris.
No,
I really don't with
you
these
shouldn't.
temperatures. My goodness.
You shouldn't. Nope. Your back seat should be all different types of layers. This is what it is. Yeah, I usually call this a cluttered back seat season. So you should probably have a sweatshirt back there, the heaviest coat that you want to put away, but you're too afraid to do so. And then you might even have a variety of things. I have flip-flops in my car just in case.
Just in case flip-flops.
Just in case.
I
And
still have all my snow coverage stuff in the back seat. I'm ready.
okay. And I have to be really like weather PR-y here. I think we should be good, but March is a tricky month. That one interesting stat is that March 2nd has had the most reoccurring snows of any other specific date in Charlotte history.
I don't like to hear that.
So yeah, so it's you never know. March can have a tricky surprise, but as of right now here, I can actually bring up the 10-day forecast to kind of give you a little peek ski into the future. We are going to see this dip, and then one thing I always tell people, this time of year, we have drastic drops, but they don't last as long. During January, they can last for weeks. Now, I think you usually pop down into the cool down for 2 to 3 days, and then we come back up. Then it'll be 2 days, we come back up. So those 40s are short-lived. We should be in the upper 50s to around 60 to end the month of February. Well, that's exactly what we're doing, just not 80 degrees again, at least in the short term.
Well, we'll take it. Chris, thank you so much.
Of course.
As always,
Take care, y'all. Happy
appreciate you.
weekend. Woo!
Actually, while we're here, I'm going to get you straight to some breaking news. We have an NBC special report on the tariffs decision. The Supreme Court says Trump's sweeping emergency tariffs are illegal. Let's get to that coverage now.
Process for a reason. Yes, legislating can be hard and take time. And yes, it can be tempting to bypass Congress when some pressing problem arises. But the deliberative nature of the legislative process was the whole point of its design, essentially saying the Constitution was set up this way, having the legislative branch be the one that can levy taxes. And the president, of course, can enforce the laws. He can regulate some imports, but he can't go too far. And the Constitution does that by design.
There also seemed to be this question of whether tariffs themselves could be considered a form of taxation, right?
Yeah, and it's not that clear that the court sees it obviously the same way as the president has. But it's worth noting, no president has ever tried to do this before. What has happened here was so sweeping and such a sort of a broad exertion of authority. The court, it was facing something that had just never been done before. And so I think obviously the implications of this and the precedent that it sets defense going forward. I can't be overstated.
It will be interesting to see what it could mean potentially for executive authority. There is also, of course, this other case that we're watching, which is another test potentially of executive authority involving the Fed.
Well, and this whole term, if you think about it, is really the Supreme Court taking a hard look at some of the things Donald Trump has done that have never been done before, like trying to fire a member of the Federal Reserve Board, Lisa Cook. It's another big case on their docket. He's tried to fire her. He's tried to fire a woman who was on the FTC. They obviously have other big questions concerning his birthright citizenship plan. So this really is the term of SCOTUS and the president, and how they see executive authority, at least as it results to tariffs, is a big blow.
6-3, remind us once again which were the conservative justices that sided with the liberal justices.
Yeah, the Chief Justice, Justice Gorsuch, and Justice Barrett joining Justice Sotomayor and Justice Jackson and Justice Kagan here in a 6-3 decision. Craig.
Okay. All right. Our senior legal correspondent, Laura Jarrett. Laura, thank you so much. Garrett Haake there at the White House as well. Thank you so much. Again, for those of you just joining us, 6-3, the Supreme Court ruling that most of President Trump's tariffs are, in fact, unconstitutional. What remains unclear, though, at this point is what happens to the money that has been collected. Again, so far, more than $130 billion from large and small businesses around this country and around the world as well. That is going to conclude this NBC News special report. We will have much more ahead on NBC News Daily and, of course, on our streaming network, NBC News Now, online at NBCNews.com. And the full wrap-up tonight on NBC Nightly News. I'm Craig Melvin. We will return most of you to the Today Show.
A really dramatic decision, unexpected, some might say, from the Supreme Court on Trump's sweeping emergency tariffs, now saying that those are illegal. It will be interesting to see what response we get from President Trump today. We'll be monitoring Truth Social, his platforms, as well as other politicians to see what their reaction is to this really surprising decision. We're going to take a quick break. Stick with us, though. Lots of news to come in about 2 minutes. Welcome back to Live Impact News. Julie Kay here. We left you just a moment ago with that NBC special report on the Supreme Court striking down Trump's tariffs in a 6-3 decision. We're going to continue to follow that throughout the day as we get more reaction, but we want to bring you back now to something live. This is again out of Georgia, the trial for the accused school shooter's father, his involvement in this out of Appalachia High School. This is the trial just outside of Atlanta on its 4th day.
Did he give you the caliber of the weapon that had been used in the shooting at the school?
No, sir. It was still very early on. I didn't get a lot of information.
Okay. Now, when you went through the home, as you showed us, the room at the far end on the left you determined was Jenny's room.
Correct.
And would you classify that as the master bedroom normally in the house because it had an adjoining bathroom?
For most homes, possibly. For that home, I would say yes. It was the largest bedroom and it did have an adjoining bath.
Okay. So it was the largest bedroom and it had its own bath?
Correct.
Okay. And where you put the father's room, which is on the other side, correct?
Correct.
Far right-hand side?
Yes.
Did that appear to be shared, bunk bed shared with the younger son, Coley?
Yes, it did.
Okay. So he shared that room with him?
Yes, it appeared that way.
And who gave you the information that Colt slept in the laundry room?
I can't recall exactly who gave it to me. One of the agents that I met with when I first responded to the house.
Okay. Did you find a photograph in that laundry room where a bed would be?
There was a bed in the laundry room, yes.
Okay. And, excuse me, going through some of the cartridges that you found in this box, I think the, let's see. This appears to be a military type box. At least it was when I was in the military. Is that what you would call it?
Yes, sir. It's used by law enforcement and military commonly.
Okay. Just for the record, what exhibit number is that?
And this is 146. And you went through that box and told us all the ammunition. Did you find any weapons in the house that matched the cartridges that you found?
I found a shotgun in the house as well as multiple boxes of shotgun shells, so yes, those would match. And I also found multiple different calibers of rifle ammunition. The rifle on the top of the closet, I'm not positive which caliber it would be, so I can't confirm or deny that.
Okay. Well, you told us that you found 2 308s, correct?
Boxes or just cartridges?
In the box that I just showed you.
Yes, I found several 308s.
Okay. 12.45 caliber.
Yes.
And Smith & Wesson, different makes, but 4 Smith & Wesson type bullets.
I found multiple types of handgun bullets. Yes.
Okay. And did you find a handgun?
Not in the home. In Mr. Gray's vehicle, yes.
Okay. And you searched his vehicle also?
Myself and Special Agent Andrew Still did, yes.
And was there a Smith & Wesson found or a 45?
Neither. It was a Glock 43X.
Okay. So you didn't find a 45 nor a Smith & Wesson?
No, sir.
How many Glock bullets did you find in this case?
So generally, you will not find a cartridge that has Glock imprinted on it. Glock is the manufacturer of the handgun.
Right. It's 9mm though, right?
Yes.
Okay. How many 9mm did you find?
I don't recall, sir.
And you indicated that you found an AR-style weapon in the top of the closet where Colin Gray slept, correct?
Correct.
And did any of the bullets in this case fit that particular firearm?
I'm not sure, sir. I did not attempt to load that firearm.
Okay. You didn't check to see what caliber it might be?
I examined the exterior of the rifle, and it was identified as a multi-cal, which means it's capable of firing more than one type of caliber. There was not one specific caliber listed or imprinted on the rifle.
Okay. And the 208s, what are they? Yeah, 208s that you testified to, I think.
I don't recall testifying about a 208, sir.
Okay,
I
were there-
testified about 308s.
Were there any found there?
308s, yes.
Okay. Do you remember how many?
No, sir, multiple boxes.
Okay. Now, the photographs that we see here, these are not cut out of a newspaper, correct?
I'm not sure where they originated from, sir.
Okay. Don't they look like they were printed on a printer?
Potentially, yes.
Is that correct?
They could appear that way. Again, I'm not sure where they originated from.
Okay. But they don't look like a newspaper where you cut it out of a newspaper, do they?
The physical photos, no, they do not.
Okay. Do you know when those were printed?
No, sir.
Do you know when those were put on the wall?
No, sir.
The site mark box that you saw, did anyone give you any information that there was corresponding site mark on the weapon that was used at the school?
No, sir. I never saw any of the evidence that was collected from the school.
Okay. So primarily your duties was to go there and photograph everything pretty much that you saw. That'd be fair to say.
My role as a crime scene specialist is to photograph the crime scene in its entirety. So that includes the outside and inside overalls. And if I see something of evidentiary value, then yes, additional mid-range and close-up photographs of that item.
Okay. And do you sometimes get impressions about what you see?
What do you mean, sir?
I mean, if you see, for instance, the computer that was sitting on the floor in what was called Colt's room, the computer looked like it had been taken apart. Is that what it looked like to you?
Yes.
Okay. Components were on the floor.
Yes.
You don't know when that may have been done either, right?
I'm not sure.
Could you tell by what was taken apart on the computer why it may have been taken apart?
No, sir. I'm not a computer expert. I would have no idea of the inner workings of the hard drive.
Did anyone collect that computer to your knowledge?
I collected it and turned it over to the GBI's digital forensic investigators.
Okay, and which agent did you turn it over to?
Danielle Murphy.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Any redirect?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. You're free to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a recess now. It may be longer.
You've been watching the day 4 of the trial of the father of the accused shooter at Appalachia High School. We're going to continue to follow this as it is happening right now. Stick with us. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Live Impact News. Exactly 10:30 on your Friday morning. Lots of news going on. As we mentioned, the Supreme Court striking down the majority of Trump's tariffs. We're going to keep following that today. But for now, back to what's happening live. Just outside of Atlanta, this is the trial of the father of the accused school shooter at Appalachia High School.
With the jurors, with the attorneys, and let you go take your recess. Just understand in general, don't talk to the jurors about knowing Mike at gun. And I don't know if he's testifying or not.
Right.
But
That's
yeah, but just don't discuss the fact that you have been in there, shopped with him, anything like that with the other jurors. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Take your recess, sir. All right, any issues for the state?
No, Your Honor, and we're not calling anyone from Mike's gun room. This is a business record, just like we're putting in business records from Amazon where everybody shops.
Anything from the defense?
No, Your Honor, the court asked most of the questions I would have, so I don't think he's going to have issues.
Very good. We'll be in recess. Call it 10:45.
Looks like court is going into a bit of a recess. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back here in 2 minutes.
Welcome back to Live Impact News. Some other news that we're following at the national and international level is those rising tensions in the Middle East and how the U.S. is related to that. So Megan Bragg got a chance to interview an expert yesterday. Take a listen.
go, across the world, right? So right now things are tense because nuclear talks have stalled, and both Iran and U.S. are really flexing their military muscles right now. They're basically trying to pressure each other without actually starting a war. So right now, UNC Chapel Hill professor Bapat is joining us right now. Professor, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Can you just kind of explain to our viewers what is going on and why these tensions are continuing to escalate?
Sure. So the issue that is being focused on right now between the United States and Iran, and there are several issues that the United States and Iran have in dispute. The issue is focusing on a nuclear deal. For the viewers that may not know, in 2015, a nuclear deal was struck between the United States and Iran called the JCPOA. The Trump administration pulled out of that in its first term and is now seeking another version of that deal, which is attempting to limit Iran's ability to develop nuclear weapons, and that's through enrichment. So what the United States is demanding, in effect, is that Iran give up all of its ability to enrich uranium. Iran doesn't want to do that. So there are some negotiations over how much of that capability Iran can keep. But it looks like the United States has struck a pretty hard line, demanding that Iran surrender a considerable amount, if not all of it, which is something Iran's not willing to accept. And so what that's led to now is the possibility that the United States may act again against Iran. It acted earlier this year or earlier last year in an effort in cooperation with Israel to strike at some Iranian nuclear reactor. So it looks like there might be another action. The U.S. has put considerable assets into the theater, and it looks like there may, the Trump administration has said there's a 10-day timeline to decide whether or not diplomacy is going to work or if there's going to be a military strike. So we're just, again, the buildup looks like it's happening, which is obviously a source of considerable concern in the region.
Now, I know, with these military buildups, right, and kind of flexing, really, why is this kind of risky, as history has shown us?
Yeah, so it's risky in part because since as these operations continue, there's always some risk of accident that can happen. Now, I think U.S. forces are very well disciplined, so from their end, I think that things should be okay. But again, you don't know what will happen when U.S. forces are engaging others. So again, that is a risk. That's something may go wrong. The other risk that's worth mentioning that's quite significant is that Iran mentioned recently that it was planning on closing the Strait of Hormuz, which is a important waterway where about a fifth of the world's energy comes out of that waterway and enters the market. There's energy coming there from Saudi, there's energy coming there from Iran, there's energy coming from a lot of Gulf players. And so cutting that waterway off would be a very significant blow to the global economy in terms of energy prices. It's not clear if they actually did it or not, but they said that they were intending to, and that alone, I think, has spooked investors and pushed the price of oil up. So again, a large shock to the price of oil globally, despite transitions away from oil, would be very significant and would be a considerable harm, I think, to many throughout the world.
So kind of talk to us about what happens next. I know, right, you're saying, we really just want to have diplomacy here and talk about things. But if a strike does happen, does that mean all-out war?
Well, I think Iran would certainly interpret it that way. So Iran had been hesitant to respond in a large way to the joint strikes between Israel and the United States for several months ago. It did not use all of its capability to try to respond, which I think has been interpreted by the Trump administration that Iran is considerably weak. And then we add to that that there are significant protests against Iran. This looks like Iran is in considerable trouble. You add to their economic problems, and they are in a vulnerable state. But one thing to think about is that if the regime is pushed into such a vulnerable state, it may do all it can. Since it may, if we can think about the analogy to a wounded animal, it may act in a way that's desperate and may use its assets to try to respond. And it is believed to have some considerable ones. And even if it doesn't have a nuclear weapon yet, which we don't believe it does, it still has enough rocket capability where it could hit targets that the United States has in theater, along with Saudi Arabia, along with other Gulf allies. So again, if it does lash out, this would be a considerable, this would be a difficult operation. I think the Trump administration is planning for not just a few days, but for some weeks of strikes. So all of that would wear on the region for sure, and it would certainly weigh on the global economy.
Absolutely. What does this, Professor, remind you of, especially in history? Because I know that this has kind of happened several times where we've had these gunboat diplomacies. So is there one that sticks out for you that this reminds you of?
I actually think so. For me personally, again, the U.S. has had lots of instances of gunboat diplomacy in the past where it's sent ships into theater with an effort to try to coerce, as have other countries. For me, this actually is reminding me more of Iraq in 2003, which again is given the U.S. history there is a concern, and I think part of the reason is that if there is a strike on Iran, if that happens, I'm not sure what happens after that or what the goal is or how we define success. And so maybe that information will come out over the next several days. But again, that part is sort of concerning to me, especially if we add into the fact that if we look at size-wise, Iran is much larger than Iraq is, and it's a considerably more difficult terrain with its mountains. And the United States no longer has assets in Afghanistan to sort of go on both sides. So there's a lot of reasons, I think, to be concerned about a potential long-term operation in Iran and what that looks like.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us that clarity there. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take another quick break, but stick with us. Lots more news coming up in just about 2 minutes. Welcome back to Live Impact News. Just shy of 10:45 on your Friday morning. We want to get to something live just outside of Myrtle Beach. This is the long-awaited Stand Your Ground hearing. This is expected to be the last day in this lawsuit over the road rage incident that made headlines. Let's take a listen.
I wanted the license plate of the truck and a picture with the gun out the window.
Now, up to this point in time, have you done anything to antagonize Mr. Spivey?
No, sir.
And at the time he pulled up beside you, the first contact you had was the pointing of the gun in the truck at you?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then, so you go on and you go through 905 and you guys are following, or again, traveling down Highway 9, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And was there at some point in time when you saw a white truck
of some sort.
Yeah, eventually a white truck did appear.
Maybe, I think somebody, Mr.
Surveyor.
Davis, surveyor, testified that it might have been or was a white Ford 250 pickup.
I can't testify to the brand and the make of it, but I know it was a white truck.
It was a white truck.
Yes, sir.
What did you observe between the white truck and Mr. Spivey as they traveled ahead of you guys?
The same erratic behavior, darting in and out of the lanes, cutting each other off, racing off together.
And again, you're riding Weldon and you're traveling behind those two trucks at that time.
Yes, sir.
You have any idea how fast you and Weldon got between 905 and Camp Swamp Road?
No, sir, I don't.
Do what?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay. All right. You paying more attention to Mr. Spivey and the gun than the speed?
That's all my focus.
All right. And tell the court what you saw as you approached Camp Swamp Road.
As we were coming up and approaching, riding along, I had no idea that there was a turn about to happen or anything like that. The white truck that was instigating, or that Spivey and the white truck were initiating with each other, the white truck turned right down Camp Swamp Road, followed by Spivey. He crossed over the lane turning onto Camp Swamp Road. And as we approached, we were calling out the name of the road.
All right, and if you would, with a little more detail, okay, as the white truck and Mr. Spivey are approaching Camp Swamp Road, the white truck is in the right lane, turn lane?
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes.
And Mr. Spivey's truck is
in the left lane.
In the left lane. He was not following him, he was in the left lane.
Yeah, they were pretty much side by side.
All right. And so the white truck made a turn, and then your testimony was that Mr. Spivey abruptly changed lanes and turned almost directly into Camp Swamp Road.
Yes, sir.
Did it give you the impression that he was at that time had his attention on the white truck?
Yeah, it looked like they two were actually chasing each other.
All right. After they turned on the Camp Swamp Road, did you see the white truck anymore?
No, I did not.
Did you see Mr. Spivey's truck?
No, sir.
And so when you and Weldon approached Camp Swamp Road,
yes, sir,
tell the judge what happened.
As we came up to the road, and Weldon's calling out the name of the road, and we're starting to make that turn, I noticed Spivey's truck with the brake lights on, and as we completed that turn, Spivey's truck was already stopped, and he was getting out of the truck.
All right. Now, we didn't talk about, but just to confirm, you were in the truck with Weldon when he had called 911.
Yes, sir.
All right. And we've all heard the 911 tape. You don't want to hear it again, I don't reckon, do you, Judge? Okay. But on that call, Weldon was asking them to get the police out there to you guys,
yes,
right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
That was the whole intent.
And when he turned on the Camp Swamp Road, and you see the white truck, you see Mr. Spivey's black truck. Mm-hmm. All right. If you would tell the judge what happened in the seconds after that.
Spivey stepped out of his truck with the gun in his hand. He looked angry. He was throwing his hands up, yelling at us. We have no idea what he was saying to us. We have already came to a stop at this point. He stepped wide from his vehicle across the yellow lane, and then he was still making some type of gestures, but he stepped wide from his truck and then started to walk from his door back to the rear of his truck. In the process of this, he had already wrapped the slide of his gun, and he had pulled his gun up and he had shot at us.
Now,
and just to add, the best way I can explain this is everything happened very fast. It's a very fluid situation. There's no way I can timestamp how it happened. Everything was happening at one time. There's more than one thing going on at the same time.
All right. And when Mr. Spivey, you said, was walking towards the back of his truck, that then would have been walking in the direction of Weldon's truck?
Correct. Towards us.
All right. Now, you obviously had a gun with you.
Yes, sir.
And when did you get your gun out?
After Spivey wrapped the slide of his gun, I began to yell at Weldon to back up, and that's when I reached for my gun.
All right. So you asked Weldon to back up?
Yes, sir.
I know the answer, but I want you to tell the judge why.
Because I didn't want to be in a gunfight. I didn't want to be in that type of situation.
Were you fearful at that time?
Yes, sir.
And so your immediate words without much thought was back up, Weldon, back up?
Correct.
All right. And at that point in time, which is in the seconds before you or Weldon shoot the gun, are you in fear for your life?
Absolutely.
Do you believe any reasonable man would have been in fear for his life?
Yes, sir, I do.
And in your words, why did you shoot when you shot?
Because I had no other option.
Other than what?
There was nothing else I could do. I can't retreat. I can't get out. I'm there.
You already asked Weldon to back up.
Yes, sir.
And this is happening very quickly.
Yes.
All right, now, is there any question at all that Mr. Spivey stopped the truck quickly?
He did.
That he jumped out?
He did.
That he had a gun in his hand?
He did.
That he was yelling?
Yes.
That he appeared angry and agitated?
Yes, sir.
And that he was moving towards your truck?
Yes, sir.
And this was the same guy who had pointed the gun at you several miles back up the road?
Yes, sir.
So when you fired the first shot that you fired, all right, Mr. Spivey was clearly in the truck or outside the truck?
He was outside of the vehicle.
All right. And when you started to fire your gun, did you fire it rapidly?
Yes, sir.
And at some point in time, did Mr. Spivey get back in his truck?
He did.
All right. Do you know whether he had been wounded or not?
I did not.
Would you demonstrate for the judge how, and stand up if you would, how Mr. Spivey was holding the gun, and you said he at some point in time he pointed at you guys?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you would, with your arm, show the judge how his posture towards you guys and how his arm was at the time you shot.
So you want me to just show?
No, you can do it right there. You can do it. Just turn to the judge and.
Well, he got out of the truck, raises his hands, gun in the hand. He does like a really exaggerated rack of the slide. The gun comes up and he shoots. I can't tell you exact angles and all that. Everything's happening very fast. But he does a very exaggerated wide swing.
And if you're where you stand now sitting in your truck, would it be your recollection that when he came around with that gun, that he had his right arm raised and the gun pointed at you guys?
Yes, sir.
At some point in time, did he go back to his truck?
He did.
Did he put his arm down to walk back to his truck?
No, sir, he did not. The gun stayed on us the entire time until he got back to the truck.
And the manner, if he's facing you guys when the shooting starts and he goes back, does he turn to the right, to the left towards his truck? In other words, what's that?
He's
Here's
going
what
to
man-
his truck like this.
Yeah, and is his
He's
arm,
going this way, his gun's that way.
all right, his armpit is exposed to you?
I believe so, yes, because his arm would have been up.
All right. But he does go back and he gets back in the truck.
Yes, sir, he does.
All right. And there is shooting certainly before he goes back into the truck. Is there shooting after the truck? After he gets back in the truck?
Yes, sir.
All right. And at some point in time did you, well, let me go back and ask you this way. Was Mr. Spivey shooting at you and Weldon in your truck after he got back in the truck?
Yes, sir.
And you could tell that because you could see him and what?
Because I can see it.
All right. Of course, when you saw, and I say saw because that's the way you describe it, the first shot that was fired, how did you know that he had fired?
Because I could see the report from the gun. I could see the action. Can I sit down? I could see the report from the gun. I could see the action. I mean, I can see that the gun is going off.
And you could see much better than you could hear if you could hear at all.
Correct.
And you and or Weldon shot back simultaneously almost?
I believe so,
Or was
yes.
there a big gap of time between his shot and your shots?
No, we were very close together.
All of them were very close together.
Yes, sir.
And so you emptied a magazine.
I did.
All right. And so that would have, so you would have shot a lot of times. Why did you continue to shoot rather than just shoot one time and stop?
Because he was still a threat.
He was still a threat. You a concealed weapon holder?
Permit? Yes, sir.
A concealed weapon permit holder.
Yes, sir.
Right? You have to take a class to get that.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to do that to get a hunting license, do you?
No, sir.
Or to buy an AR-15, do you?
No, sir.
Okay. But you got to get that concealed weapon permit, and they teach you how to shoot a gun, what to do about a gun, and they talk about self-defense, don't they?
Yes, sir.
All right. And in that class that you take that is given by the state of South Carolina, do they tell you that you should continue to shoot until the danger is gone?
Yes.
Is that what you were doing?
Yes.
Do they tell you that you don't have to wait for your adversary to get the drop on you?
They do.
But you didn't immediately shoot when you saw him with a gun, did
No, I
you?
didn't.
Did that scare you?
That startled me, yes.
Were you hopeful that Weldon could back up?
Yes, yes.
All right. But you were pulling a trailer.
Yeah, we were.
All right. And of course, all of this is on the 911 call.
Yes, sir. I believe so.
And while I'm talking about the 911 call, let me divert 1 minute and ask you this. As you guys are traveling down Highway 9 and Weldon's on the phone with 911, we played it on the screen yesterday with you telling Weldon to slow down. You remember that?
I do.
All right. Judge, you don't want me to play.
You've been watching the Stand Your Ground trial that is right outside of Myrtle Beach. We're going to continue to follow this and more throughout the day when we're back here at 12:30 in the Live Impact studio. But for now, tossing to our next newscast. Thanks for watching.